What's going on, everybody? My Tyler here, and welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of the WWE Save, here for the first time in 2020. Now, I'm super excited about this. We have the Raw after WrestleMania. Big things are about to happen. Lots of big things, indeed. So much has changed, in not just from the game itself, but in a literal standpoint. I mean, the dynasty is no more. There is no authority, figuratively and literally, because not only is the authority stable gone, but authority itself is non-existent here in WWE. There's literally no CEO, no board of directors. There was general managers, but both of those are gone, and it's absolutely crazy. Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion. He overthrew The Miz. Kofi Kingston beat Triple H. I'm spoiling WrestleMania 30, but you should watch WrestleMania 30 just to get a very good view. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But a lot of things are changing. We are truly entering the new part of this series. And let's just jump right in. But before we do, just because I wanted to, add some funny, stuff, just to set the precedent here. This will be short, I promise. In case there's new people coming to this episode, this is a very non-serious save. I'm saying this because dumb shit happens. Dumb shit is said. And this is not like a fucking commentary YouTuber being like, "Oh, I'm gonna say stuff, you fucking SJW." No, not like that. I mean, I'm gonna do dumb shit in this save. And, this is not a very serious save, I guess. This is what wrestling I would like to watch in real life. I mean, I do like watching wrestling even now, but this is like the ultimate dream wrestling for me. That's not a good thing. That's why I'm not in charge of wrestling. So, just a preference that. And one last thing, I had to record this fucking episode literally twice, because like the ultimate smooth brain, I had to change the product, but I kept I didn't change the product in the fucking actual database, just that in-game. So I would fuck it up, and I wouldn't save it, and it was literally completely 100% my fault. So ultimate smooth brain to me. Let's jump right into the show. Alright, we have some opening matches as Shelton Benjamin goes one-on-one with Bo Dallas, and for 12 minutes they fight it out. Eventually, Shelton Benjamin hits the pay dirt to win that match. The very first match of the Save, 71, good to see. And in another shorter pre-show match, Big Daddy E. Langston now. Big E. Langston defeats Big Daddy Voodoo, local worker we brought in, although everyone knows who Big Daddy V is. He submits him in 5 minutes. An impressive win for Mr. Langston. Very good overall for him. And we have the very first segment of the show in which Daniel Bryan comes out. He's announced as the WWE champion. There's yes chants all over the crowd. Just yes, yes, yes. It's just like you would expect it to be. He's not a much pained road. This is not a Daniel Bryan who has really had to claw his way, more so just get to that point. More simplistic. And then Kofi Kingston come out, who's exactly opposite story. Kofi Kingston rose to WrestleMania 29. No one thought it would be able to do it. And a lot of people thought then after that he would go all the way to WrestleMania 30 with the title. And he comes out, he's in more street clothes. He's a humbled man, I guess you could say. Gone is the boom boom kind of variation to Kofi Kingston, but a more matured man. A more guy he's held that title. He knows what it means to hold it. And, he was at the top of the mountain, and he was dragged down, but he has clawed his way back up after beating Triple H. And the two talk, in which it's mostly Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan says, it's great to be here for Monday Night Raw right after WrestleMania. It's insane. The crowd obviously pops hard because, the post-Mania crowd is like that. It's always awesome, which is sad that as good as WrestleMania was, just the fact that there was no post-Mania crowd was just kind of sad. Granted, real life stuff, but enough about that. Daniel Bryan is, I want to thank all of you, and I know that's sappy as hell, but I want to thank all of you because you truly did this. Triple H and The Miz, I'll be honest, The Miz, his heart was in the right place. He knew what he wanted to do, and, he did it, But I don't think there was truly a lot of malice. Just another guy in wrestling that thinks he's the shit. But Triple H was the dangerous one. And I think we all have to thank Kofi Kingston for getting rid of him. And Kofi Kingston nods, and Daniel Bryan goes, Triple H wanted to build a WWE for himself. He didn't care about the future. He didn't care about, what is going on. He's like a lot of these old guys. Vince McMahon, rest his soul, he's in a coma. As strange as that is. But, a lot of things have changed around here. And I think it's time we usher in a new era. Now, I'm not going to get all markety on you. I'm not The Miz, trust me. And the crowd laughs. It's like, this new era is all about you guys. This new era doesn't have a name because it's the era that's going to last forever. This WWE is all about the WWE universe. This is where you will see the best professional wrestling meet the best of sports entertainment. It's a mixed world. Nothing better than the other, nothing worse than the other. This is everything. And you know what? I'm absolutely happy to be the champion of this era. The crowd just pops really super hard. And he goes, well, let's talk about tonight's main event. Tonight's main event, WrestleMania rematches. We gotta have them. The Miz and Triple H against us. We've seen it before, but we're not too worried about it. I think it's time we send Miz and Triple H off for the various future. But I will address this, as Shane McMahon has been told me that he will come out here, and without really authority, there's no one to stop him, but there's no one to let him either. So I just, as the champion, I guess I have some power, but I'm not going to keep that. That's not what the champion should be about. Shane McMahon's going to come down here, but we will be having a draft show in 2 weeks. A draft. Bring back the draft's already there, but we're going to be continuing the draft, and it will be Backlash, the All-Star Draft. And at that, Miz has used his rematch clause, and I've humbly accepted. I can't wait to wrestle the Miz again, because I can't wait to tap Miz out again, like the ultimate little bitch he is. Let's go, WWE. Tap him out like a little bitch, let's go, WWE. That's how you open the show, bros. And then in an 81 match with superb wrestling and great heat, Perfect Fortunes defeat the Motor City Machines in an awesome match when Dolph Ziggler pinned Sabian with the zigzag. Would have gotten a better rating, 81, just because the tag, what's it called? Well, we've kind of nerfed the tag team chemistry slightly, but not too bad. And also just because they're part of the storyline they're at has just started, so it would have gotten even better. But, I'm already doing that thing with ratings I did last series. I should shut the fuck up. But we do have to note that because they won the WrestleMania pre-show match, Air Harem, Evan Bourne, and Yujiro Takahashi will be challenging Perfect Fortunes for the tag team titles at the All-Star Draft Backlash event. And next we have a very, just kind of calming the crowd down match. Everything, Kane comes out to wrestle, and Kane is currently wrestling Tanahashi. And Tanahashi picks an upset win, defeating Kane in 10:47 with the frog splash. Kane doing the best work that he has pulled out of the save. Fuck him. Still, whatever. I just don't like, I have nothing for Kane, and I will never have anything for Kane again. So Tanahashi picks up a win against the leaving Kane kayfabe breaking, just shattered right there. But Tanahashi with a massive win in his career. And next we have the United States champion, Sami Zayn. He's walking around with Kevin Steen, his good friend. Definitely friendship forever. When Austin Aries is like, yo, fuck you, dickhead. And Sami's like, what's your problem, Aries? He's like, I'm supposed to be a multi-champion in this company. Do you understand that? I held that title with pride. The fact that you even hold it is disgusting. And Sami's like, dude, you've lost fucking titles before. Calm down. And he's like, this is not just a title. It's the title. It's all the titles. I'm going to win all the titles, and I'm going to win that one back. And he's like, okay, whatever. Extreme Rules? And Austin Aries like, fine. Extreme Rules. You know what? No, not Extreme Rules. Next week. Sam was like, fucking whatever, Aries. Get out of my way. I got shit to do. And Kevin Steen, squares up to Aries, and Austin Aries backs down because Kevin Steen is kind of a scary man despite the comical face he has on his picture. And next we see the Coven. You know, the Coven are always fun to watch, and they're just reveling in their victory. I don't spell reveling right. That's why I had the question mark. But I didn't feel like checking. You know, Astrid says, you know, there's like we ham it up the fuck. You know, there's like a cauldron. They're all around it. She says, while the Coven itself lost the pre-show match, Astrid retained the Divas title. And that's all that matters. Because when she wins, the rest of the Coven win. And she says that AJ Lee, Madison Lane, the two biggest dogs in the Divas division, better watch out, because their attempt to overthrow Astrid has come at a grave cost. And then she like throws some powder in the shit, and it like explodes and looks all cool, and it's like and shit like that. And speaking of, AJ Lee just has a quick match with Nikki Bella, who she defeats with a Shining Wizard in 13:39. Not really much to say there. Next up, we have John Morrison, basically, and Wade Barrett coming together, England's finest. And Wade Barrett looks conflicted, but he's like, John Morrison, you fucking lost Money in the Bank. And John's like, yeah, Wade, you lost fucking too, you know? I'm really not in the mood for this shit right now. And Wade Barrett's like, hey, you lost, bro, in his English accent. And John Morrison's like, you know what? I'm literally so fucking sick and tired of everyone just treating me like a dickhead and not being able to get the win. So why not get a win tonight? You and me one-on-one. Wade Barrett's like, I'm getting that. But you could fight, I almost said Dolph Ziggler. You could fight Douglas Williams. And Douglas Williams steps up, and John's like, whatever, fine. I just want to beat somebody really bad. And we cut to commercial, and we cut to that match. And in a 74... Did I not put this in the match? Whatever. John Morrison defeats Douglas Williams in 17:49 by pinfall with a Moonlight Drive to pick up a victory. You know, it was really never in doubt. But this is so weird. I have to check the storyline. I must not have added the two to the... Must not have added them to the story, I guess, because that's egg on my face. And then after that, Wade Barrett just comes in, bullhammers Joe Mo, and John Morrison's gone, and Wade Barrett's laughing it up. He's like, all right. And him and English finest, they don't really even really beat him down. They just kind of walk away. That's the end of that. And we see Triple H is backstage with The Miz. They're both taping out, and they're just looking at each other. They're just pissed. You can just tell that there's tension between them. Of course there is. You know, the dynasty is just completely gone. It's non-existent. The stable is inactive. That's how you know it's serious. But Miz is like, after this, I never want to see you again, unless I'm kicking your ass. Triple H is like, duly noted. And they both stand up and they walk their separate ways, going wherever the fuck they're supposed to be going, preparing obviously for the main event tonight. This shit. So this one. Alright. Oh fuck, I forgot to do the storyline. Oh, whatever. So Shane McMahon comes out, and here comes the money. And he, comes out and he goes, thanks everybody for coming. Thank you, Danny Bryan, for letting me talk. WWE has literally no one running it right now. The only real general manager exists is obviously the GOAT, Tyson Kidd of SmackDown, and Trish Stratus of the women's division. Now, Raw, of course, will get a general manager. I will assure you that, but it will not be me, because the ironclad just construction that Triple H did to the paperwork, a McMahon, or how did I'm trying to think of how I worded this without making it. If you can't tell by something, this is the fucking stupid storyline, but he basically says, that anyone but Vince McMahon with the name McMahon, so if you're Shane, Stephanie, Triple H, they technically cannot own the company. So he owns stock in the company, so he can do this, essentially, but that's about it. He says, I've instituted something that my father would absolutely have loved and wanted if he was in a coma, which he is. Thanks, John Cena. The general managers of Raw, SmackDown, and the women's division will be monitored to see how successful they are in running their respective brands and divisions. At WrestleMania 30, in 1 year's time, I will give the person I think is the most worthy the keys to the kingdom. They will become the new CEO of the WWE. Now, and as this is happening, you just see a guy shambling into the ring, and Shane McMahon is just confused. He's like, is that fucking Robert Downey Jr.? And Robert Downey Jr. is there. The crowd pops. Marvel's a big thing. And Shane's like, Robert, what are you fucking doing? And he's like, I'm Tony Stark. I heard you needed somebody. And Shane's like, oh, God, he's fucking drunk again. Oh, Jesus. And he's like, can we get security? He's harmless. Just get him out of here. Get yourself fucking cleaned up, Robert. God damn. Holy shit. So they take Robert Downey Jr. away, and Shane is like, whatever. And he goes, as for Raw. Raw needs a general manager. So I will be accepting invitations. Anyone, please, we need this, can become general manager for Raw. Monday Night Raw, the hottest show around. I will see you guys then. And he walks away, and we have the war for CEO has started. I can't believe it. What an awesome thing. Tyson Kidd could be the new CEO of WWE. I'm sure someone's going to be real fucking excited about that. Trish Stratus could even be it. That could be revolutionary. And who knows who could be general manager of Raw. Again, as I said before, that I said multiple times, there's the one storyline that's going to be really fucking stupid. This is the storyline that's going to be really fucking stupid. And we have Randy Orton take on Jay Lethal in a fucking banger of a match. 87, Jesus Christ. Randy Orton goes with Jay Lethal, very respectful. Randy Orton's, very interesting wrestler, at this point. He's not really a bad guy. He's more of a tweener at this point. He hits the RKO, bam, on Jay Lethal to pick up the win. And afterwards, he gets a promo. He gets the microphone and he says, I wasn't able to win Money in the Bank. I haven't been able to do a lot of things in WWE as of late. And I'm starting to think whether that's me or my surroundings. I always used to think it was my surroundings, my peers. But maybe I'm to blame. And some kid in the front was like, you're a dickhead. And Randy's like, I know, I was a dickhead. I'm going to try not to be a dickhead. But you have to understand, this is a hard process for me. We all know what I've done. I'm not asking even for forgiveness. I'm just doing what I need to do. He drops the mic and he walks away. And we have our main event of the evening in sensational wrestling, fantastic heat, a 95A. Daniel Bryan defeats Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan defeats The Miz and Triple H when Daniel Bryan manages to get The Miz in the label lock to tap him out. Obviously, the main story of this match is just that Triple H and The Miz are horrible partners. They take, at points, I just imagine them starting to beat the shit out of each other. Okay, yep, that's where it's degrading into. They just turn on each other immediately and just fucking go ape shit. And that just allows Daniel Bryan to pick up the win. Will this be the story? Because Miz has shown, honestly, in his time in the Dynasty, when he's being carried, he's actually kind of worse. He's not even being carried. But on his own, he can get the job done. And, they showed I just realized it says they showed excellent chemistry teaming together, so fuck me. But, it is what it is, brother. And after that, basically after that, Daniel Bryan, Triple H just leaves. He's like, fuck this shit, and he just walks out. And Kofi Kingston goes to kind of jaw with him a little bit. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan and The Miz are just beating the fuck out of each other. They go into the crowd. And as Kofi Kingston is just jawing with Triple H, all of a sudden, Chris Hero and Tony Cesaro rush into the ring. They rush in and they just wail. They just ambush Kofi. Just elbows, European uppercuts, very European uppercut into a massive elbow from Chris Hero. Michael Hull's like, what the hell is this? What the hell's going on? The tag team special is just beating the shit out of Kofi Kingston. What could this mean? And Antonio Cesaro and Chris Hero look in the camera. They do the Kings of Wrestling pose. And that is how we end Monday Night Raw. And let's finish the show to see what the first Raw did. 96A pop up in 52 regions. What a great way to start Raw. Sorry for that fucking gay little thing there. That was just weird. I don't know what the hell that was. But man, what a awesome start to the show. This was I'm gonna get a little sappy here, so if you want to leave the video now, that's absolutely fine. I said this before, but at this point I have 195 subscribers. I'm almost away from 200. That's not a lot. I know YouTubers say this all the time, and you've heard it. So and I apologize because I hate to be just a dickhead, but it really does make my day that all you guys watch this. It's super fucking cool to me that this happened. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this, and I want to thank you for joining me on this journey that we've taken to the first episode of Monday Night Raw.